Details of these and more coming up in the next 1 hour. My name is Asiedu-Dartey. Stay with us. Now to our very first story, and President Akufo-Addo has handed over 2 more petitions against 2 commissioners at the Electoral Commission of Ghana to the Chief Justice, Sophia Akufu, for action. A statement from the Director of Communications at the Flagstaff House, Eugene Ahim, said this is in accordance with Article 1463 of the 1992 Constitution. The petition against Georgina Opoku-Amankwah and Amadou Sule were filed by Emmanuel Kosi Senior, a concerned citizen of Ghana, on Tuesday. Emmanuel Kosi Senior is demanding the impeachment of the 2 commissioners. The president during the week forwarded a petition from the concerned staff of EC to the Chief Justice, Justice Sophia Akufu, calling for the removal of the EC chairperson, Charlotte Osei. Let's get to the agric sector, where the Minister of Food and Agriculture, Dr. Owusu-Afriyie-Akoto, says the fall armyworm is under control and expressed hope to record 0 infections by the year. He said 14,413 farmlands have so far been destroyed by the worm invasion.
Worm invasion has been defeated by my government.
We have Eva Tiboka, TV3 broadcast journalist, and she's here. She is up there and to give us more on this situation. Hello, good afternoon, Eva.
Hello, good afternoon, AC.
And thanks for joining us. So, the farms you have visited, what is the situation? Is it under control, as the minister said?
Actually, with what I've seen and what the farmers have been telling me, the situation is not under control. The fight is getting tougher and tougher. To the farmers, it's an endless war, because I am on farms right now. I am at Bilihabila, a farming community. In fact, farmers here, there is no farmer who owns less than 20 acres of maize crop farm. But all of them are complaining. I have about 12 of them here. When they saw us, they thought that we were bringing it to them. But unfortunately, we are only video as well, just says it. And I hear with their grievances, they have not gotten the chemicals that the government said is distributing to the farmers to tackle the fall armyworm. Their farms keep, the worms keep multiplying and multiplying. There have been the assertion that when it rains, the fall armyworms are carried away in floods. No, that is not true. What happens is that the worms don't feed on the crop. They hide within the crop. They pupate within the crop and feed. And so each time it rains, it's only the seasons that the rain would wash away, but the worm itself will be hiding in the crop and feeding. So lots of farms, thousands of hectares of farms are being destroyed. Every farmer here is affected. I have been to other communities, other districts. Almost all their farms are affected. Someone with 7 acres, he tells you everything is evaded. Everything is being taken over by the fall armyworm. So the situation is not getting any better.
Eva, if I got you right, are you saying that the farmers there at the place you said, Bully, Hisa farms, you have visited that area, are you saying that they haven't benefited from the pesticides that is being distributed to affected farmers at all?
They have not. And what I am currently with them here, and they are threatening. Once there's a statement coming from government that it's in control of the worm, is defeated the fall armyworm, and they are still battling with them on their farmland. They are heading towards Parliament because everything of theirs, they don't know how to survive the next year, because eventually they won't pick anything from their farm. And so they are threatening to come to Parliament because they are really furious. They are coming hard at the minister for coming out with such a statement. They are saying, well, if elsewhere the worm is in control, certainly not in northern region. Certainly not in this very community that I am currently speaking from. And so they are really aggrieved. They are really grieved with the situation. They are not happy with the minister. They are not happy with the statement. They are not happy with the rate at which the fall armyworm is fast spreading and taking over their farm.
Eva, do we know the number of farmers, or yes, the number of farmers who in that particular area have not benefited from the pesticides being distributed?
I am with, let me make a quick count. I am with 13 farmers here, and all of them, they thought we were bringing them aid. They thought we were bringing the chemicals them to help fight the fall armor, but unfortunately not. I have with me here the assemblyman. I caught up with him. Lucky enough, he benefited from the chemicals. He has a 30 acres of maize crop farm, but he's complaining he was given only four containers. What's the milligram? He was given only 4 containers, and that couldn't even took him 8 acres. I think one per acre or 2 per acre, and so he couldn't do much with it. He's currently here with me. Let me pass you on for him to tell you how severe the problem is. Please hold on. You are on TV3 and tell us how severe this fall armyworm situation is.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, this is Assemblyman for Foshaw.
Well, we as a reporter have said that you have benefited from the pesticides being distributed by government, you know, to fight the fall armyworms. We want to find out, there are a number of people who have also not benefited. You are in the same area. How did that come about?
Yes, I actually went to the Metro Agric office and reported my case. And then they asked me to be in queue because we were many in that particular moment. Okay. So I also joined the queue, and I was able to get only 4 to control over 30 acres land.
Well, we would have to end it here. We'll get back to this issue some other time. Thanks so much for talking to us, Eva. We hope that you monitor the situation and bring us more from the region. And you're still live on Midday Live. Let's move on to some other stories. And the fight against forest degradation in Ghana has gained a major boost following the inception of a new monitoring technology under the Forest 2020 project. The project, in partnership with the KNUST and Econometrica, will monitor activities within Ghana's forest zones via satellite to promote the effective response.
Even though frameworks have been developed to help countries protect and restore their forest resources, inadequate monitoring systems remain a barrier to effective implementation. And these technical barriers are what Forest 2020, a UK space agency's international partnership program, seeks to address. The 5-year £152 million program designed to partner UK space expertise in emerging economies to deliver a sustainable economic and societal benefit. Forest 2020 aims to protect and restore up to 300 million hectares of tropical forest by improving national forest monitoring systems in 6 partner countries through better applications of satellite data. It will also help build and add value to existing systems and initiatives. The project will also improve accuracy and frequency of land use maps, methods to distinguish tree crop and natural forest, as well as improve capacity to map out extent and dynamics of mangroves.
If we are able to tell that somebody is illegally harvesting trees, probably close to water body, and we are able to stop that, then of course that water table will be maintained and will continuously have the water in good quality.
Cross-cutting outputs are essential for longer-term impact and future funding and covers all sectors of the forest industry.
This particular program is supposed to help us to be able to get accurate and timely information to be able to put in interventions to be able to protect the forest.
Other partner nations are Indonesia, Brazil, Mexico, Colombia and Kenya.
Right now, though, let's get back to the fall armyworm invasion issue. And I have Charles Nyaba. He is the Programs Officer of the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana. Good afternoon, Mr. Nyaba, and thanks for your time.
Good afternoon.
Well, so the Agric Minister told Parliament that the fall armyworm invasion has been defeated by government. The minister says 112,802 hectares of farmlands affected by the fall armyworms. Does the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana share the same view?
Thank you. And I don't know. I don't want to maybe go into debate with the minister because I don't know the basis for which he came out with those conclusions.
Okay.
But I've also done some monitoring for the past 1 week. I was in the 3 regions, visited our members. Sincerely speaking, the extent of spread has reduced. But for the minister to conclude that it has been defeated means that it's under complete control. I have a difficulty in agreeing with him on that score. Most of the districts that I have visited, according to the farmers I spoke to, that when the rain started coming, they realized that anytime it rains heavily, then the armyworms are washed away, especially those in the northern part of Ghana. You know, this is the period where we have enough rains in those areas. If you take Kintempo, which was also another area that was heavily infested, most of them too have also experienced reduction in spread. So that's what I can say for now. But for complete eradication, I'm not able to confirm that.
Well, you said that you have been to the 3 northern regions. I just spoke with one of our correspondents there, and she tells us that a particular area, Bulihabila, that the farmers there have not received any of the pesticides at all. I don't know if that came up during your monitoring, and what do you hope, to do? Yeah,
in the monitoring, that's what I said. Even the reduction I'm talking in terms of spread, it's not because of the pesticide that farmers receive from the ministry. Because most of the community that I visited have never received any pesticide. Some few farmers got the pesticide, but those were not enough. But just like I said earlier on, the farmers have adopted their own means of biological control. Some are using the neem tree, the oil of the neem seeds. Others are also mixing the Shoclean. It's a type of a detergent with pepper to spray. And according to them, that is working effectively. But the major cause of the reduction is the rainfalls. So for the pesticides, majority of farmers have not received. But we in peasant farmers are not even encouraging excessive use of pesticides. Because we had discussion with some environmentalists who indicated that the way we continue to use pesticides might have negative effect on the environment and our own health. Because if you apply pesticides 3 times within a season, definitely most of the active ingredients will not dissolve, and some might find their way into the food system that we will be taking. So it's something that we are not encouraging. But in going forward, we think that the ministry needs to do more, because last year only 6 regions and some few districts were attacked by these worms. And this year it spread to all the 10 regions, and then many districts have also experienced it. So we should expect that in coming years, more districts will actually experience it. So we need to begin thinking of how to get money. We don't need to run to our donors, because that was what we did this year when farmers were suffering, to get money from donors to come and do sensitization and also to supply them with pesticides. So we need to begin engaging our research institutions to also engage the farmers to develop those biological means that farmers themselves have discovered and are using to control the pesticide, to see how we can develop that. Because that is more sustainable and is healthy to the environment and the food that we produce.
Well, but Mr. Nyaba, you made mention that, some of these farmers have adapted their own means of fighting the fall armyworms. And looking at the chemicals that they're using, you have spoken against the pesticides, too much of that. Is that not, I don't know if there's some kind of information or education for these farmers, to even stop using the other means that they have adopted, because it's quite dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah, in our own small ways, we are doing that. And we are actually encouraging the farmers to continue to use those means to control the pesticides. Because if you look at...
You think that is better than even the pesticides?
Pardon?
I mean, I want to find out if that is better than the pesticides, or it is because the pesticides are not available.
No, that is better than the pesticides, and those are being extracted by the farmers themselves. Okay. Now, they begin using that because they could not access the pesticides that were provided by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. But we think that it's a nice discovery. And I don't think coming years farmers will rely so much on that. What we would like to encourage the ministry to do is to actually investigate more and see how they can improve on what the farmers are doing. Because it's so obvious. I'm telling you, as we are sitting there, we are all at risk. If within one season you have to spread pesticides 3 times, although we all know how dangerous those pesticides are, they will find their way into the food. So in going forward, we don't need to over-rely on this pesticide that we are all thinking is the solution to the problem. Okay. We need to begin thinking of how we even build the farmers' capacity to be able to adopt these biological means of pest control. We need to also reduce the importation of seeds, because most of the pests came through the seeds that we import from the foreign countries and other places. So we need to empower our research institutions. We need to empower our seed growers to be able to grow seeds domestically. We are thinking that when we do that and then we build farmers' capacity, we'll be able to reduce the level of that we have this year.
Thanks so much for your time and your thoughts on this particular issue. I have been speaking with Charles Nyaba, and he is a program officer of the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana. Away from the agri sector, some Canadians are changing the face of education with new teaching and learning methods in the Savelugu municipality of the northern region. They are infusing play-based teaching and learning methodologies in the classroom to help develop their cognitive, social, emotional, and psychological and physical competencies in children in that area. Chief Executive Officer of Right to Play International, Kevin Frey, said children develop their cognitive, social, emotional, and physical competencies through interactions with others and their environment. He emphasized the need to incorporate play learning strategies into the academic curricula of children in rural communities. In an educational system with slim margin for change, a Canadian-based organization, Right to Play International, introduced play-based methodologies to teachers and pupils in the municipality to raise educational standards in rural communities. Officials of the organization noted children organize and make sense of their social world by engaging and playing with others. The country director of Right to Play International, Ethel Sakate, revealed the project introduced in Ghana in 2012 has trained 150,000 children in over 600 primary schools across the country. The Savelugu Municipal Education Director, Philip Isahaku Siblim, observed the Right to Play program has made a difference in teaching and learning. Philip Isahaku acknowledged the benefits of the program and prayed the project managers extend the project to other areas in the northern half of the country. Stay with us, you're back with more news coming up. To business now, and the Customs, Excise and Preventive Service Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority has interdicted 87 more officers for various offences. The Commissioner General of Customs Division, Isaac Crensel, described the exercise as an act of rebranding the Customs Division to deliver a report by Frederick Clarence Williams.
Over 200 customs officers have so far been interdicted. Query letters have been sent to some officers to answer for their alleged failure to do due diligence on transactions they supervised, which are said to have cost the state millions of cedis. According to Commissioner General of Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Isaac Crensel, all the work done by the officers since 2012 have been pulled out from the system and have been thoroughly scrutinized on suspicion of wrongdoing.
Putting a culture of accountability. In the professional work, there are standards that we have to meet. You have the laws, you have the regulations, you have so many things that as a customs officer you have to follow. And we're hoping that with these things that has happened, it will be a big lesson for any customs officer to know that, look, You have to obey the law, which guide us in our work.
He described the exercise as an act of rebranding the Customs Division.
To us, it's a rebranding. It's going to help us to come out with a new image. This country is moving to a national trade facilitation, where we expect the customs officer to play a major role. And that major role is, as an officer, is to ensure that we don't put stumbling blocks in the effort of the trader. And I'm sure at the end of the day, Ghanaians will see a new customs officer.
He disclosed the service has deployed more officers at the various stations to help other officers to augment work at the Tema ports.
We are bringing in additional staff from our other areas, less busy areas, to Tema, which collect about 70% of the national revenue, to augment that situation. And therefore, we are hoping that it will not affect our normal operational work.
Let's speak to Asaki Samson Awing-Tobit, and he is Executive Secretary at Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana. Good afternoon, and thanks for your time.
Good afternoon for giving me the opportunity to comment on your program.
Well, so over 200 customs officers on interdiction. Is this affecting your work at the port?
Well, Madam, let me first and foremost say a very big good afternoon to your listeners and watchers all over the country and beyond. I can tell you that I have listened to the Commissioner in charge of Customs, Mr. Crenshaw, in his statement. In his last submission, I'm quite sure he made it clear that they are now looking for officers to come and then fill up the gap that officers have gone home. I can tell you authoritatively that there is a huge backlog of jobs that those officers who were working, yes, overnight, the Customs Division have just asked them to proceed on leave or to be in, as they have interdicted them. It has caused so much delays and then chaotic in our port. As I speak with you, there is importers will be end up have no choice to pay demurrage and rent to shipping lines and terminal operators for a crime not committed by the importers. And so we ask, why should the Customs Division, knowing that they were going to interdict officers, having put up a contingency in place before they ask these officers to proceed on leave or to be interdicted? You don't cause an interdiction over only Tema Port alone. Over 180 officers have been asked to go home, and over 180 vacancies have been created in our port. I can tell you 2-3 days ago, the whole container terminals, custom officers were only 4 officers working there. Indeed, even those that their custom is now, because we have started making statements that it's affecting the output of custom work, it's affecting importers are paying so much demurrages, because a work that's not supposed to be done within 48 hours or to be done within 2 or 3 days by custom, now it's taking over a week or 2 weeks, and this could lead up to the importers paying so much duty to the government and also paying so much demurrage and rent to a shipping lines and terminal operator. And so this has a negative impact in the business, in the operations of customs as we speak. Indeed, the officers that they are now looking for, or they are now calling to come and fill the gap that those officers that have been asked to go home, are not even on top of the issues. They are not learning on the job. Why should the Customs Division do that? Because, of course, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, if they wanted to interdict officers, what prevented the Customs Division for bringing officers way ahead of the time for them to, to get have a fun of, they just want to study the job, they want to understand. So by the time they pick up the job, then you ask these officers to proceed on leave. But you never did that. You interdicted people. Over 180 officers is a big work done, it's a big work loss to the importer, because the importers, if his job or her job delays, his container delays and stay 2-3 days in Tema Port there, you are in at the importer end up paying whooping amount of demurrages and rent, at the same time paying so much duties to the state. So it is the crime of the importer.
So in the interest of maximizing profits for the government, how best do you think that this issue can be dealt with?
In that, even when I make when I ask custom officers what are the crimes committed, why have they been asked to go home? Indeed, I can tell you the Customs Division has not pointed an iota of a crime being committed by one officer to say this money we're supposed to be collected on behalf of the state, but this money end up going to your pocket or going to the individual's pocket. I have asked If there's sub-collections are being collected and asked by agents or importers to go and pay it into the consolidated checks because they pay duty through either the commercial bank or through either the Eco Bank. This is where we pay duties to. So this crime, this allegation, this issue that Customs is raising, and is this affected a professional worker? Of course, Customs are to do facilitation of trade. They have to facilitate and also collect revenue, the required revenue on behalf of the state. I can tell you that as you speak now, if you ask Mr. Krenzel and his team that what are the crimes that these 180 officers have committed, he will tell you that they have put the data from 2012 to date, and they have realized that they have committed some crimes, and because of that crime that they have been asked to interdict them.
Well, Samson, hello, Samson. I wanted to find out if, since the customs officer made that statement, if you have been able to meet him, to discuss the ways forward, how it is really affecting your members.
In fact, I have made a statement. I'm sure you have seen that. I released a statement 2 or 3 days ago, and the commissioner of the assistant commissioner in charge of Temaport, Mr. Kojo Mante, I think the name, I don't know how to pronounce it properly. It should spare me if I pronounce the name wrongly. But the name is Kojo Mante. Mr. Mante and his team invited me. I have to a meeting yesterday to brief me on the issue. In fact, when I put to them, what are the crimes these officers have committed, and even if they have committed a crime, why did Customs interdicted all these officers before they are not looking for people to bring? Indeed, the answer that was given to me is that yes, that is the crime, they have committed a crime. But the point is that they have brought officers and they are yet to pick up. Why should you bring people to not train on the job? You should have trained them on the job, let them pick that. In fact, it is not only Temaport, it's also affecting the Custom Chemical Brew Center where they produce the CCVR. Because if an importer is going to clear, you start clearing from the Custom Chemical Brew Center. That is where the agents will now submit the importer invoices, packaging lists, way bills, and bit of lading and whatever that to a contractual document to confirm that this is the actual cost of goods that the importer has bought. Before they will now produce what we call Custom Classification and Valuation Report, we call it CCBR. Before the agent can now put on a declaration form to go to a long room to do compliance. Okay. So all this work is affected at the CCBR center. It's also affecting on the grounds work where custom officers are supposed to be available adequately to discharge their duties. As you speak now, there is so much use.
Well, Samson, obviously, you people are really stressed and it is really affecting you. But finally, briefly, what does the association intend doing with regards to happenings there?
Well, there are, because what we expect to do is to petition the custom or to petition the Minister of Finance to let them look the inability of their officers to be fully equipped, to be technically competent to do the work. Not now that they are now picking up. The work is they have brought some officers in and they are now learning to pick up. If there's demolition and rent, why should the importer be paid? So they should be able, the Commissioner General should be able to write the triple lines, should be able to write the terminal operators.
Thank you very much. I think that your point has well been made. Thanks so much. I have been speaking with Asaki Samson Awing-Tobit, and he is the Executive Secretary and Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana. This is still Midday Live. Stay with us. We have more news coming up.
Hello, good afternoon. You're welcome back to Midday Live. This is time now for sports, and my name is Yao Ofosulabi. Let's go on to our first story now. And there are 5 Premier League teams in the quarter-final stage of this season's MTN FA Cup. The fixtures this weekend, 10-time winners Accra Hearts of Oak will welcome Division 1 side Dambot FC to the Accra Sports Stadium in a quest to pick up a trophy they have missed out on winning in a long time. Kumasi Asante Kotoko also have an engagement with, at the Barbara Stadium with Minos NEA Salamina. The other All-Premier League clash at this stage features Wa All Stars against Brekum Chelsea, who will battle it out at the Malik Jaber Park. The other game is Mediama SC against Ambidaus Professionals at the Takwa TNA Park. The games will be played today and tomorrow, the 30th of July. Let's do some more news, and it's been weeks since Kumasi Asante Kotoko suffered a car accident that took the life of an equipment officer and left some of their notable players injured. The club has missed out on 2 GPL match days and are set to miss a few more. However, some players of the Porcupines say they are physically fit and ready for the remainder of the league games.
I would say so far so good. I had my first training after the accident last Tuesday, and I think by now everything is fine with me. Yeah, we still have the chance to win the title. Everything is not lost yet. If you see the points gap between the first and the 15th even position, I think even the 15th position team still have the chance to win the league title. But I can say we are still in the competition and we have the chance to still win the league title. All is not lost for Asante Kotoko.
Oh, it hasn't been easy because being through these difficulties times, we lost one of our management, and I think we have been through a lot. And even though it happens, you just have to come back and train hard to psych yourself and get back to the field. This is what we do, so we just have to forget everything and continue. So, when you look at the league table, I think anyone can win the league because this year has been so much competitive. So if you drop a point, you have to drop down. So we're just working hard to make sure we've been into the top 4 or top 5.
Well, that's Amos Frimpong and Sadiq Adams there sharing their opinions about Kumasi Asante Kotoko and how they feel they can be able to win the league. But away from that, Barcelona star Neymar broke the silence on Friday but avoided addressing reports he's set to move to Paris Saint-Germain or his teammates clash with Nelson Semedo during training on Thursday. The Brazil international, speaking at a Nike event, said he was feeling good before presenting a new pair of football boots in which he said he is hoping to score a lot more goals, although he didn't mention which team's shirt he will be wearing. It's almost as if Neymar enjoys teasing Barcelona fans and keep the world of football in suspense. PSG are reportedly set to trigger his €222 million release clause and sign the former Santos star in a massive contract. Now let's do some more news, and it is the most unlikely sport that you will see a Ghanaian involved in. Winter sports has never been particularly fanciful in Ghana or for Ghanaians, but one man is hoping to change that. Sprinter and bobsledder and skeleton athlete Akwesi Frimpong hopes his rise from a boy in Kumasi to the winter sports can help make that difference. Frimpong was born in Ghana but raised in the Netherlands and is a former Dutch national youth champion in the 200 meters. A 31-year-old former sprinter who discovered his talents for bobsleigh and skeleton after an ankle injury cut short his sprint career has gone on to compete at several international events. And despite the challenges that the weather provides, he is confident he can help the sport gain grounds in Ghana.
Now we are targeting the 6 major regions here in Ghana, and we want to recruit different young athletes that are passionate about trying something new. So we are really looking for any kind of athlete. It just happens to be sprinters, can be former tennis players, former handball players, whoever wants to give something new a try. And we're just looking for speed and physical strength.
While helping others get to grips with the sport, Frimpong is also working at becoming a master at it and hopes all will come together nicely at the 2018 Winter Olympic Games.
It's my goal to go to the Olympics. It's a really introduction for me to put Ghana on the map in the sport of skeleton. I'm the second athlete ever to do winter sport for Ghana, but the very first one of whole West Africa to actually do skeleton. So we want to put Ghana on the map in 2018 and show these Ghanaian kids that it's possible. We want to develop a team to have our own Ghana bobsled team and skeleton team at the Olympics in 2022.
And the first time that we've had Ghana.
Well, our last story is a boxing story. My simple question, would you spend $100,000 on a boxing bout? How about $150,000? Some may look out for a plot of land in Accra. Others might explore a business dream they have had for so many years. But for some boxing fans in the United States of America, they have rushed for the tickets for Floyd Mayweather's bout against Conor McGregor with $100,000. Some are also going for $150,000 for the much advertised Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor bouts. Now, tickets resale site StubHub have tickets on sale at $150,000 at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas on August 26. Some 20,000 people will be there in the arena to watch that bout. Now pick up your calculator and try figuring out how much the organizers will make after the bout. Remember, the amount will only be the profits from the ticketing alone. Both boxers are expected to make $100 million from this bout alone. That's all the sports here on Midday Live. My name is Yao Fosulabi. There's more sports news on our website, 3news.com, and also Thierry Nyan will join you on News 360. Over to you, AC.
Oh, very interesting. Huge amount.
Huge amounts of money.
And
yeah.
they're expecting 20,000. And they're paying $150,000.
$100,000.
It'll be just a call to one of the fans to just send it to me here in Ghana. Thanks, Yao, for the sports updates. This is still Midday Live. Let's move on, get to the health sector. And Ghana Friday joined the rest of the world to mark Hepatitis Day. The day is to raise awareness of the global burden on viral hepatitis and to influence real change. In Ghana, HBV is considered to be a significant public health importance and the disease that requires greater attention. Ghana has been grouped as part of the areas of the world where the prevalence of chronic HBV infection is high. Worldwide, approximately 240 million people have chronic hepatitis B infection and 80 million people have chronic hepatitis C infections. This afternoon, I have been joined by Dr. Emmanuel Jochi. He is the Program Manager, National Viral Hepatitis Control Program of the Ghana Health Service, to talk to us more about this worrying trend. So, the WHO, good afternoon and thanks for your time.
Good afternoon. We
appreciate your coming to the studio. Ghana is among the high-risk countries with prevalence, the same between 10 to 15 as of 2016. What is the current prevalence rate in Ghana?
I may say that as a country, we are yet to conduct a nationwide prevalence study to really come out with the exact estimate of the prevalence of hepatitis B and C in country. For now, we have not done it. But looking at some, the world map, looking at the distribution of hepatitis B and C being done by CDC, that's the Center for Disease Prevention and Control, Ghana has put in the high-risk area. So for B, we have been put in the area of above 8%. And then for C, we have been put between 5 to 10%. But for us to get the exact figure, we need to conduct this study within our country to know the exact figure in Ghana.
Even with that, it is scary, isn't it?
Well, we are among the high-risk countries as we have been assessed to be. But the exact figure for Ghana is not known yet, unless we conduct the prevalence study.
What exactly is hepatitis and how is it spread?
Yeah, if you look at hepatitis, it generally just means that it's an inflammation of the liver, like the liver cells becoming sore. And there are various causes of the inflammation of the liver. It may be caused by taking in some drugs, taking in some toxins, and then maybe excessive intake of alcohol. And then some can be caused by bacteria, some can be caused by viruses. So currently we are looking at what is caused by the viruses, because that's the most cause of hepatitis. So that is viral hepatitis that is caused mainly by viruses. And we have specific viruses that may affect the virus. So we have the hepatitis A, B, C, D, and E. Okay. So these are the various types of viral hepatitis that we have that can affect the liver, typically only the liver.
Well, so do we have, if there had been some monitoring at various hospital health facilities, do we have a lot of people coming in, being diagnosed with hepatitis, the viral hepatitis?
Yeah, as of now, we have a surveillance system put in place whereby patients that report to the health facilities with signs relating to hepatitis, so those people are tested. And then we have observed that there's some increase in the number of people that report to health facilities. But this may be smaller than those in the entire population because some may not present with symptoms. So it's those who present with symptoms that report to health facilities. So it may be underestimated looking at only the institutional reported cases.
So what are the other types? You have 3 types?
Yeah, we are saying that there are basically for now 5 of them. That's the viral hepatitis A, the viral hepatitis B, C, D, and E. And if you look at the way they are, most of the times we try to group them. Okay. So we look at viral hepatitis A and E by the mode of contracting the disease. This is mostly through contaminated water and food. So we say it's orophycal, through eating food or water that you drank that has the germ in it. And then the other group that we look at, the B, C, and D, they are mostly through blood or other body fluids of human. Okay. So that's how we get it. So if you look at this B and C, B and C is typical because it's that normally will lead to chronic viral hepatitis, and that may cause the what we call the cancer of the liver, and if not treated well, it may lead to death. So that's why we look at this B and C as very critical for us to really detect it early, so that we can prevent it leading to the liver cancers. It
can lead to death. So my question was actually, is hepatitis deadly?
Yes, the issue is that a disease that affects the liver is deadly, because the idea is that when it attacks the liver, it damages the liver cells, and the liver is not able to perform its normal functions. So that may lead to cancer of the liver. That's specifically the B and C. That may lead to the cancer of the liver and can lead to death. So it's some disease that is very important for us to take speedy action to prevent it occurring. And if it occurs, we identify it early and then put in control measures to prevent from leading to the chronic liver disease and then leading to the death of the human.
Doc, you are with the National Viral Hepatitis Control Program. Would you say that people are well informed about hepatitis here in the country?
Yeah, for over the years, most people are just aware of the B. The C is not so much aware, but we are trying every year when we celebrate the World Hepatitis Day, we try to create the awareness of this disease, and the media have been doing a good lot of work on this issue. So I think we should not only wait for the World Hepatitis Day to talk about hepatitis. It should be throughout the year, because the disease is occurring every day. So we don't only wait until we are celebrating the day before we make the awareness. So
that is yourself, you know, the control program. You
yes,
have to be doing that.
Yes, we are, as we are talking to you now, this should not be a one-day wonder. You should try to also continue. There are key messages that we have that you can be running on throughout the year, so that awareness is created general among the people throughout the year, because the preventions start from the people. Because if we don't know about the disease and then put in the right preventive measures, the disease will be spreading. So we just call in on the media so that you continue your awareness creation throughout the year.
But is there a year-long program? From
yes,
if a year-long program
you know, we have as we talk now, there's a policy guidelines, a national policy guidelines on how for us to prevent and control viral hepatitis. And then we also come out with some treatment guidelines, what should do, the standard guidelines for us, how to identify the disease, how to prevent it. And then those measures are put in place. But the issue comes about that, how to roll out to the whole country. You know, we are always constrained with financial resources to really roll out. So those are some of the challenges that appears as if the program of activities is not felt throughout the year.
Well, so with regards to vaccination, I think this issue has come up, you know, do we have to vaccinate against, hepatitis?
Yeah, if it comes to vaccination, if we look at the various types of hepatitis that we talked about, if we talk about the hepatitis A and E, and then the B, there are vaccines for them. But the C, we don't have the vaccine. You see.
As Ghana, or
yes, for
not available at
not
all.
available for C. There's no vaccine for C.
Okay.
So there are vaccines for A, E, and then the B. In country now, we have the vaccine for the B. Okay. For the B, and then these have been made available. As Ghana as a country, we have the expanded program of immunization, where we have vaccines. We give to children under 1. Okay. This has been going on over the years. So for mothers, as you give birth to your child, make sure you send to what we call the weighing centers. Once you send your child there, will be getting the vaccination against the B, so that you will not acquire the disease as it grows. And then also, for risk persons, those who are working in areas like health workers and so on, normally, periodically, before even you are employed, the screening is done, so that if you are negative, you are being vaccinated. So these are measures that they are already in place. Then if it comes to the A and E, mainly it's basically preventive. You see, though there are vaccines, the basic thing is that you should just, your personal hygiene. If you are going to drink a water, ask yourself, is this water safe enough for me to drink? If you are going to eat food, is this food safe enough for me to eat? So these are the personal things that we do. And then if we say the C doesn't have a vaccine now,
at all, but
you can prevent it. We say it's mostly through blood and other body fluids. So we're saying that during sexual relationship, you see, either homosexual or heterosexual, you have men having sex with men, you need to prevent yourself by the use of the condom. And we're saying that if you have a partner, you are married, stay with your partner so that you prevent the spread of the disease.
Well, thanks so much, Doctor, for your time. I think that looking at the prevalence rate here, Ghana among the high-risk countries, and I think then we need a lot of work to do.
Yes.
And so education must be intensified.
Yes.
Thanks so much for coming. I have been speaking with Dr. Emmanuel Jochi. He is the Program Manager, National Viral Hepatitis Control Program, Ghana Health Service. You're still live on Midday Live, and let's do entertainment now. And rapper Asiedu Kwame says he remains resolute in his commitment to fight hepatitis. The self-acclaimed best rapper who set out to wage a campaign against the deadly disease with a nationwide screening and vaccination exercise said his target is to help eradicate the disease completely across Africa.
In 2009, Asiedu Kwame set out to wage a campaign against the deadly disease, hepatitis, with a nationwide screening and vaccination exercise. Today was no different as the world marked Hepatitis Day. The versatile rapper and his team screened over 100 people at La Bauleshi Park in Accra. The exercise was to help the less privileged to know their status with the disease and find solutions to it, if affected. The father of two, who has received several awards, both local and international, for his philanthropic work, said the fight would continue, so far as the disease remains in existence. This, he believed, would be a contributor to WHO's target of totally eliminating the disease by 2030.
The WHO statistics say that 1 out of every 6 Ghanaians, one is exposed to the virus. It is our dream that we help WHO and ourselves to achieve the dream. So until hepatitis is no more, we won't stop.
Municipal Health Director of La Madina in Kwantana area, Priscilla Emina Siao, stressed on the need for early detection of the disease.
Symptoms can be very unspecific. Somebody may feel like he or she has malaria or feels tired. So you cannot sit there at home and make a diagnosis for yourself. That's why we are emphasizing that you go to the hospital.
Chief Executive Officer of MDS Lancet Laboratories, Dr. Paul Setre Nantechi, also appealed for support to expand the project.
International news now. And North Korea has hailed as a success its latest test of an intercontinental ballistic missile, ICBM, describing it as a stern warning for the U.S. The launch came 3 weeks after North Korea's first ICBM test. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un said the test proved that the entire U.S. was within striking range. State media reported. U.S. President Donald Trump called it only the latest reckless and dangerous action by the North Korean regime. And that's all we have for you by way of news this afternoon. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Asiedu-Dartey. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.